Hi, now this is the first part of our series that we called wash off series. This is the part 1. I've weighed all my ingredients. Before then, I am Josephine of Josephine Cosmetics Lab and Academy. We teach you how to formulate different cosmetic products in our academy, and we also formulate for you. We help you customize different skincare or hair care products. So you can reach us on any of our social media platform or support at JC Lab and Academy or Josephine Cosmetics Academy at gmail.com. I've measured all my ingredients. Remember, you need to always make sure you sterilize everything and sanitize your equipment before you start formulating, which we have done before we start weighing all the ingredients. And then we put on our protective wear because we don't want hair or anything inside whatever we are formulating, and we have to also keep it clean. For every of this formulation, we are going to be explaining the difference in them and why we chose those ingredients. If we are substituting any ingredients, we will tell you the reason why we are substituting it. For this first part, it is going to be shown on every of our platform, whether free platform or paid platform. Free platform, it means like our YouTube series, but the paid platform, that is for the current students of Josephine Cosmetics Lab and Academy, and then our patrons like that subscribe monthly to get any of our videos for that month. The first ingredient is our water. This is our solvent or diluent. This is what is going to bring all these things together, that is going to reduce the concentrate in this formulation, because we might as well put all these other ingredients together, but they will not amount to 100, and also they will be too concentrated. This is why you have like solvents or diluents in your formulation, and then you need some ingredients that can help you dissolve some other ingredients, such as when you have like powders like this, you need some ingredients that can help you dissolve them, and then you'll be able to have all the ingredients in one solution. So this is where we have our deionized water, but inside this deionized water we also have hydrosol. This is optional. The hydrosol is what I said is optional because it's more expensive. Why do I have hydrosol mixed with mine? Because I want the fragrance that comes with hydrosol, which is why I have it here. And the hydrosol I chose was chamomile hydrosol, so you can substitute it with any other kind of hydrosol, and the percentage or the gram you use depends on what you want, how much of it you want it in your formulation. So all this can either be only deionized or distilled water, or it can also be all hydrosol, or it can be mixture of both. So it all depends on you. Now the second ingredient that we will have in this formulation is our chelating ingredients. Chelating ingredients are there to bind the metal ions in your water. You add it to your water phase. It's also good in your formulation when you are even using hard water. This is our disodium EDTA. Now for this series, we are going to be making use of different kind of ingredients classification, that is the natural, the synthetic, or any other type. For this particular formulation, we are using any type. So if you are formulating only natural products or plant-based products or vegan-based products, then there might be ingredients in this particular sample that you might not be able to use. But if your brand philosophy or your brand supports you using any type of ingredients, then definitely this sample you can just recreate it. So this disodium EDTA is going into our water because it is water soluble. The phase where your ingredients go to depends on the solubility of that ingredient. If that ingredient is water soluble, you add it into your water phase. If it's oil soluble, you add it with your oil phase. Now, so this is done. We have our solvent, we have our chelator. Let's mix it. So this will dissolve. There are certain ingredients that you have to place them on heat before they can dissolve. If you have those kind of ingredients in your products, know that you will have to dissolve them first before you continue with your formulation. For example, if I was to use allantoin inside this formula, then I will have to dissolve that allantoin in my water phase before I continue with the mixture of the other ingredients. And if those ingredients too can withstand heat, definitely I can still add it into that water phase that I'm going to heat. So with disodium ADT here and the other ingredients here, we don't need heat to dissolve any of them, but there will be some samples that we will make and we will need to put them on heat. So the viscosity enhancer we choose for that period will determine the process that we will use in formulating that product, that sample, which is important for you to see, because these viscosity enhancers, they have different ways of processing them. So you cannot say because I use this process for this particular one, you will now use the same process for another viscosity enhancer or thickener, then you might not have good results with it, which is why it is good for you to see the way everything is done. Remember, as a student, you'll be able to see all the formulations. There are a lot. Now that we have both our water and chellant mixed, we can start adding our phase B. This is our phase A. Okay, so the different classes, different phases. Now I can still, these ingredients I'm including in my phase B can still go with my phase A, or my phase A I can just be including them one after the other, or phase C, or whatever it is that I've classified them. The viscosity enhancer or the ingredients you have will determine if you should add your surfactant phase to the same water phase, or you should have them in different phase. If, for example, if you are going to be using certain surfactants that you need to dissolve first, maybe you are using them in powder form, you have them in powder form, then you will have to place them on heat, dissolve them with another surfactant before you now add them to your phase A or your water phase. But because my surfactants are in liquid form, this is why I won't be placing them on heat, and this is why I would be adding them and continue with my formulation, as simple as that. So now I have two surfactants here. When it comes to cleansing products, you need surfactants, and there are different categories of surfactants. So it's also a deep lesson that if you're a student, definitely you would have watched all those videos regarding surfactants and ASM and every other things you need to know before you get to this part. So we have our main surfactant, which is a primary surfactant, and we have our secondary surfactant, which is our co-surfactant. This is going to help this. Now the first one is sodium C14 C16 olefin sulfonate. This is anionic surfactant. Is the surfactant here that is going to help with cleansing the skin with the foam, with the job of removing all the dirt and oil from our skin. Now the secondary surfactant, which is cocamidopropylbenzene, is an amphoteric surfactant which is going to assist this in cleansing. But the main job, it can help increase the viscosity, it can help reduce the irritation that this may bring to this formulation. So they work hand in hand. Now if I'm formulating for sensitive skin, for children's skin, you can reduce the percentage of this main surfactant, or you remove it and substitute it with another, or you just reduce it and increase this. Okay, so the skin type you are formulating for will help you judge or determine how much of it you should have. Now for your first product, the ASM that will be in it, which is active surface matter, will be different from if you're formulating for body products, when you're formulating hair products, when you're formulating shower gel and things like that. So it all depends. Now for this particular formula that we will be using for all our series is mainly formulated towards body, which means that if you're formulating for face, then you will have to, or might have to, reduce this so that it will not be harsh on the face and then, you know, cause irritation. So this is why you need to start from the beginning to learn about surfactants and different ratios in formulation. So formulation is not just about jumping into it and knowing how to formulate that particular product alone, but also knowing deeply about each ingredient, doing your research, knowing why they're brought together and how to process them. So let's add our first surfactant into this. Now I can mix both together before adding it into my water, or I mix them separately. Most times I prefer to do it separately, because when you add this to this, it thickens it, and there's some surfactant that the way you process them matters. The step you take matters, so you have to be careful in order to get the results you want. Now when you're mixing your surfactant, make sure you're mixing it gently to reduce activating the foam, although that when by the time you finish, you still have to leave it for some hours for the foam to settle if eventually you activated any of the foam, but don't do that too much. Can you see it looks like water? Let's see by the time we add this cocamidopropyl benzene if you're going to notice any increase in the viscosity of this formula. As I said earlier, there are some ingredients, or in the previous video, there are some ingredients that can have effect on the viscosity of your product. So let me show you again. Can you see the way it drops? Just like water, there's no difference between this viscosity and water. But with cocamidopropyl benzene, let's see. So this, when you mix them separately, it also helps you mix in like easily. When you want to use only cocamidopropyl benzene to increase the viscosity of your product, you can have that in higher percentage. So the higher it is, the more it have effects on the, can you see how thick it is, without even including any viscosity enhancer in the product. Now you can also make use of more than 2 surfactants. Our students already learned about that. If I'm using this for face, I can just add my preservative and then just move on, and I won't have to add any viscosity enhancer. But remember, what we are trying to do here is to test this different viscosity enhancer, that mostly polymers or emulsifiers. So we can't just stop here. This is viscosity enhancer or polymer we are using for this series is Tarragum. Can you see what it looks like? Can you see what it looks like? The powder, the color. Can you see? Different polymers look differently and the results they give are different. So which is why all the viscosity enhancers we're going to be using are going to be in the same percentage in order to be consistent. Even if we're going to include any other ingredients or substitutes, it's going to be deducted from the water phase. So but for every of the viscosity, we will retain it at this, even though we know for some of these viscosity enhancers we will not be needing, if let's say we are formulating them on a regular day, we may not need up to that percentage. But because we are here to compare and see this viscosity together, this is why we're going to maintain the same percentage, in order for you to see, okay, if I use this Tarragum at this percentage and I use xanthan gum at another percent at the same percentage, this is the thickness I'm going to get for Tarragum, this is the thickness I'm going to get for carbon. It's not going to change anything when it comes to the percentage of the viscosity enhancers, just for demonstration. But when you're now formulating yours, then you can determine by yourself, okay, I already have my product that is thick and clear, why do I need this again? Or my product is not so clear, and it's not so thick, or it's very watery, I still need a viscosity enhancer. Now do I need 0.5% or I need 1% or I need 2%? So the viscosity you get from seeing mine will help you to judge and know if you should increase that viscosity enhancer in that formula or reduce it. Now also remember that this viscosity that I got from this one also comes from the cocamidopropyl benzene. So which means that if I reduce the percentage of this benzene, I will get different viscosity, and then by the time I add this same percentage, it will be different. So when you take from here and take from there, it all have effect, they all come together in one place, and it's something you have to work on. You get lucky with some formulas and you get the exact thing you wanted at that particular sample in the first sample, while some is you have to do trial and error. So if it fails, you recreate, and it fails, you recreate, just like that. Now for this Tarragum, I'm going to talk more on it, but before I get there, let me go with this ingredient. This ingredient is a good ingredient. that is classified under humectant. If I've heard of humectants before, you will know humectants are used to hydrate the skin. They help with hydration, skin hydration or hair hydration. So when you have that in your product, they help with that. Now, the difference between hydrating ingredients in wash-off products is different from in leave-on products. In leave-on products, they have the time to work. But when it comes to wash-off products, they don't really have that time. They don't have enough contact time with the skin or the hair to do the job, which is like the hydration job that they are meant to do. Which is why in cleansing products, you can either leave it out or you add them in little percentage. Also, some ingredients you use in your product can reduce the foam of your product, just like when you add cocamidopropyl benzene into your formula, and it helps increase the foam you have in that formula, in that cleansing product. Same way, when you add some ingredients into your formula, it can reduce the foam of that cleanser or wash or whatever you want to call it. So this is why you need to compare and contrast, and to know which one affects the foam, which one is good for the help you boost the foam of your product. This is glycerin. Glycerin at high percentage will reduce the foam of your cleansing product. Remember, I said it's a good hydrator, is a good humectant, is a good ingredient. That doesn't mean it's not good. That doesn't mean you cannot use it, but use it at minimal percentage. You can use it like 0.5 if you have to have it in your product for marketing purpose and all that, or if it's to still do small work, you still have to reduce it. 0.5%, 1%, at most 2%. We also have it is because there are certain viscosity enhancers, there are certain polymers that you will need to mix them with a humectant before you include them into the formula, so that they can mix well into your water phase. This is why I made sure I included it in this formula, and it will be in the other formulas in order to assist. So for this particular formula, I will just add it directly into my cleanser without mixing it with the gum. And that's because the gum I'm using, which is Tara gum, can be added to your formula without mixing it with any ingredients first. These are the things that you look at. And after adding glycerin, if you can notice very well, this viscosity reduced a little bit. I hope you are enjoying this video at this point. Even if you are on the free channel, you are still going to get another video of this comparison. So make sure you subscribe, like, and comment below. Don't forget, I am Josephine. You can reach me on any social media platform, either Josibel Cosmetics Academy or JC Lab and Academy. It depends on where we are reaching us from, or just Josibel Cosmetics. This Tara gum was gotten from Treasure Actives. They have a website, Nigerian brand. They are doing well. I like their packaging. You can see how cute it is. Yes, that's one of the things I love about their website. They package well. Let me show you how this ingredient was packaged. You can see they first put the powder in a nylon before putting it in Ziploc, which help protect the freshness and keep the freshness compared to some other brand. Also, they have lots of ingredients that try out. If you want to get any unique ingredients, then you can visit their websites. If it's ad, I will let you know, but if it's not ad, I'm just doing it for other businesses, so that you can also know where we get things from, in case you need to get yours too. So Tara gum is a natural and a non-ionic ingredient. For our students, you know what we mean when we say non-ionic. You know there are different charges when it comes to cosmetic ingredients. So if you don't know it by now, please go back to the classroom to learn more about it. It's a non-ionic ingredient and it is natural, so which means team natural. Yeah! You can use this particular polymer. So it's a polymer, and polymers are viscosity enhancers and thickeners. When you add it to water, it comes like gel form, but then it's non-sticky, and while also like it is resistant to electrolytes and shear. It's also not pH sensitive. Some polymers are pH sensitive, which is why you might not be able to use them with some other ingredients. There are some, because of their charges, you cannot use them with some other ingredients that have different charges. Why I also like it, it is hot and cold processable, which means that I can add it directly into my formulation while it's hot. I can add it while it is cold. I can mix it, or I can just add it directly into this formula, which we are going to do. I'm going to be pouring it in gently as I'm also mixing it. So if you're using an overhead stirrer, then you can still be mixing it like that. As you're mixing it, you'll be pouring it in little by little, because it's small quantity. And I know so many people that don't have equipment will be watching this samples, will be watching these videos. This is why I won't be using equipment for any of them. And if I decide to use equipment, that means I just changed my mind for that. I hope you've enjoyed this video to this point and you've been able to learn one or two things, no matter how simple or the formula is. We also kept the formula to the minimum because we want you to be able to recreate it. I would like to see what you recreate with any of the formula you see, and then we'll be able to talk more in other videos. And don't forget, you can also include more ingredients, but the simpler it is, the better. So this is what we have now. I can continue mixing it. Part of what we're also testing for you is for you to see the end result color, because they all have different colors. Some will be clear, some will be transparent, some will be whitish, so different colors with different polymers. This is why, or emulsifiers, this is why we will not be adding color from the get-go. By the time we now finish formulating them and everything has come out this way, the way it's supposed to be, and you've seen the color, the end result, then we can now think of, oh, let's add color, let's beautify it. And the kind of color you choose determine on the type of polymers you also choose. Some you can include bead maker, some you cannot, because they will settle on the bottom. Some you have to use water soluble colorants. So I think we're going to stop here today in order for the video not to be too long, and I will show you the end results by tomorrow. If you are formulating proper cosmetics products that everyone can use, then you must have preservative in it, as long as it contains water. Okay, now the kind of preservative you also choose will determine what kind of products you are making. Is it natural? Is it vegan based? All those things that will help you determine the one you will choose. So for this particular one, we are using liquid Jamal Plus, and this is what we are going to be using in all our samples, unless we are making all natural formulation or organic formulation. That's when we will not use liquid Jamal Plus. Please check the regulation of your country to help you determine which percentage of this liquid Jamal Plus you can use, and if you can even use it at all. Some countries doesn't allow liquid Jamal Plus. And that is our last ingredient. This is what we have. By tomorrow we shall see. Bye for now. Hi, I'm back. So this is what we have now. Can you see? Now if you're making face wash, this might be too thick, so I have to explain to you. So when it comes to different washes, different packaging, you have to know that your choice of packaging and the part of body you want to use it for will have a say in the thickness you want. For example, most face washes don't come out as thick as body wash or shower gel or shampoo, and this is because the pump that you use in face wash is usually tinier, smaller compared to when it's body wash. With body wash you need a lot, with shampoo you need a lot to come out, so you might not want to use this viscosity. You will want to reduce this viscosity, so which means you will not be using up to this percentage, okay, up to the gram that was used in this this formula. But if it's body wash, then you can still think of using this percentage or reduce it a little bit more. If you have it thicker than this, then it will be too thick and it might not even come out. It also depends on the any other adjustments you make into the formula. So we made it with few ingredients so that you can still make any adjustments with it, like adding your extract and any other ingredients you wish, or maybe you still want to add some kind of active, even though it's a facial wash or body wash. But if you're making something simple, something that can be used every day, then this is the formula, this is the percentage you want to use. Just include extract. Now also, if you're making exfoliating wash, you will need to increase the viscosity enhancer, because when it comes to including lactic acid, glycolic acid, salicylic acid, or any other type of acid into any product, the viscosity enhancers, the thickness, the polymers, the gums, they have to be at higher percentage, because it pulls down the viscosity, the thickness that you're supposed to get. It drags it down totally. Like if I add 5% lactic acid into this now, I will be getting like water consistency. So you can imagine how you need to adjust your products when it comes to formulating a cleanser. So I hope you have been able to learn from this video, and then other videos you'll be getting them also. So if you're watching this from the free platform, then you might not be able to see all the other videos, but I will still drop some, so follow. This is the percentage that will be the baseline for all the other thickeners and the gums. This is what we'll now be using to compare the remaining, and we have about at least 10 viscosity enhancers or gum. So you can imagine. So just keep watching. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and then join our academy or contact us for contract manufacturing job or formula or product development. Thank you. Bye.